Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we're going to be going over Dubs 420's defense. Here at Defense Up, we grade on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their power levels, their ISOs, and what kind of mood I'm in. We're going to jump right into this one. It's pretty big numbers. He's got some interesting stuff going on, and I haven't had much time to go over it. So this is one of those off-the-cuff kind of defenses. We're going to go into it. Team number 1, the Mercs. Okay, so we've got Taskmaster as a skirmisher, and we've got no other striker Mercs on here. At this point, you might as well just change Taskmaster to a striker and go for the basic steal, that steal thing off of his assist. I kind of think, since you've got low ISOs on these two guys, I think that you should go change them to strikers. And I think you should change even this guy to a striker. He doesn't need to be fortifier. This guy's going to go under 50% before this guy does, and when on that X-Force build. You're running this guy in here. So Skilletary's going to have some trouble with this team. Gosh. I think you should put some resources into Lieutenant. I think you should change him to a striker. I think you should don't bother putting anything into Riot Guard, but change him to a striker also. Same thing with Korath the Pursuer. Get those strikers going. It's really going to bring out that damage potential from your Taskmaster. Getting double taps off of your other minions instead of just the assist off of Taskmaster. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, then please change Taskmaster to a striker and then get another skirmisher out there. Or, yeah, I mean, it really sucks. He should be a healer if he's not going to be a striker. He needs to be a healer. But I mean, you could change him to a skirmisher and change Taskmaster to a striker, and that'll give you enough vulnerables on the field to work with. It's kind of a hard spot. But my thing is, I think you should go striker, striker, striker. Put a little bit of resources into Lieutenant to avoid that X-Force team. And you're up over 590, so you're really close to avoiding them anyway. It's just, this is 7, anything under 80,000, and I think my X-Force can get him under 50%, and then it's just a matter of getting that turn meter going and really destroying that team. So I think you're really close to going one way or another, but you're stuck in between. So for me, this is a C+. I think it's kind of a wasted opportunity here. So pick one, go for it, and make it happen. But good placement, good characters that you're using. I like the overall power number. So yeah, you're on your way. Just pick a direction. Team number 2. Ooh, chat knows what I don't like about this one. Hela. I don't like Hela on this team. I think Hela is a liability on any defense, no matter what. So there's 2 ways you could do this. If you really want to keep Hela in here, then replace these 2 guys with the new warriors. Keep Loki in there and Hela in there. And people will come into this with a symbiotes, and the symbiotes will get blown up. They're so fast. They throw those blinds out there. Then she's spreading it, Hela's spreading it, and respreading it. And it actually just kind of destroys symbiotes before they can get the ball rolling. However, X-Men, the Astonishing X-Men, will come in here and just tear this team apart no matter what. So I don't like Hela in here. I think that if you want to do this team, you should replace Hela. Let's replace Hela and Coulson with the new warriors, and then this team is just gonna destroy. You've got Ghost prolonging all those negative effects. The timing is gonna be great with Loki and Cloak. Loki speeds up Cloak so he goes before Deathpool and just makes it happen. So I don't like this. I think it's kind of a waste. It's too vulnerable to too many teams. You can even adjust your symbiotes to come into this team and destroy it by putting Captain Marvel in there and then targeting Greg on the first turn. It gives them enough turn meter. They're still going to get blinded, but they'll have enough turn meter that they can get going and overcome it. But I would still punch down with the symbiotes and what's her name? Captain Marvel. So yeah, swap these 2 out with the new warriors, and then you got a great defense. But I kind of like that new warrior team on offense anyway. It's really good offense, but it's something to do. Okay, team number 3, Fantastic forward with She-Hulk, good placement, pretty good ISOs. You've got Fortifier on Johnny. If you're having trouble keeping him alive, it's the thing to do. I like him better as a striker, but you've got She-Hulk as a striker. I like her better as a skirmisher or a Fortifier. Striker's fine, I guess. You've already got him up to war ready levels. It's not really worth changing. It's a 700 team. It's pretty good. I just think that striker tag on him to get the more damage output is a better fit. But yeah, I'm gonna give you an A- for this. It works. It still works. You know, it still works. So A- for that team. It's really powerful. It's pretty substantial. Good team. Team number 4. Power Armor with Captain Marvel. I'm not super excited about seeing Captain Marvel on this team. I think she times out differently with this. Could work. Honestly, you're better off with a pre-taunting tank off to the side to keep people from messing up their time. If this team doesn't get disrupted in the way that they time out their flow, they can actually do some serious damage to somebody. And Captain Marvel isn't really adding too much to this team. She doesn't have much synergy. She just has that opening damage, and this team is more like the closing damage. So I think you should swap her out with a tank like Drax or Red Guardian off to the side, allow them to get going, or just replace her with Tony Stark if you've got him built up. If not, then Ultron fits in here really well. I just don't like Captain Marvel for this. I think she's a good plug and play character for other teams, and I think that this team is really vulnerable to a lot of things. You just kind of got to mess up their timing, and it doesn't happen. Like if you can ability block him when he has offense up, and so he doesn't do his big AoE and just annihilate everybody, that's really good. Also, Tony Stark in here gives him the extra shot, extra damage, all that stuff. So I like Tony Stark in this team. You built him up really big. We watched some videos of this team absolutely annihilating people at 700, the stock team annihilating people at 700k. So I don't think it's going to play out as well as it could, but it's still going to require some thought coming into. It's still going to do some damage. You have the important members still available. Defense down with her, the big AoE with him, the turn meter from him, the offense up from her. So it's still going to work. I just think you can do better. So I think it's a B. It doesn't get me too excited. Team number 5, Hydra with Zemo. This is a fantastic defense. It's really tough to beat. 75% damage reduction is basically 100% damage reduction. So this team requires you to come in with like a surfer to strip those charges, or a black bolt to kill these guys off. You could come into it with like a black bolt Zemo kind of thing. Like Zemo kills them too. And this Zemo really messes stuff up. He can ability block the wrong person and screw up your whole game. It's fantastic defense. Your ISOs are good enough. Actually, let's take a look at these. We got Fortifier over here. That's not really necessary, but you've already got him up to ISO level 5, so keep it as Fortifier. He's going to be a really tough tank to go through, and that taunt is going to screw people up. I see people coming into this with a stock Inhumans team, like a 700 stock Inhumans team would probably work really well against this. Let's see, Striker over here, that works. You can also do Raider. Wait, is that Grenadier or is that Trooper? If that's Trooper, then I think Raider is technically the best, but Striker also works. If that's Grenadier, I'm sorry, I can't remember minions. I really need to like put a picture up here behind my screen so I can remember their names. If that's Grenadier, then Striker's the way to go. And then you got Healer over here on Scientist, that's correct. Striker on him, and Skirmisher over here. Is chat telling me? That's Grenadier. Okay, Grenadier, Striker, you got that. This is 100% on the ISOs. I mean, there's better things to do, but I always tell people the ISOs don't matter so much. Plus, dying and reviving, that's actually pretty good, so screw it. I'm going to give you the A for that team. I think it's fantastic. Way to go. Team number 6. Ooh, here's a good one. We don't see a lot of this, especially now with the extra teams. So this is X-Men plus Uncanny. This is Astonishingly Uncanny X-Men. Here's what goes on with this. You've got the best 3 pieces of this team and the 2 duo off of the Uncanny, and it makes for an incredibly challenging defense. This is really good. You can also do things like sub in Doom on this team, but what it is that's overkill with the Doom. You don't want to do that. You don't really want to do this either, because you can make two teams out of this. One, you can have the Astonishing X-Men on an offense, which is astonishingly great, and you can have Uncanny with Doom, or just Uncanny, use Phoenix on an offense or something. I like Uncanny Doom. I think they're a really good defense. I also like Astonishing X-Men on offense. However, this is a kick-ass defense. If this is the way you want to go, then by all means, run it. Let's see. We have Fortifier over here. Okay, Fortifier's fine. I'll give it to Heartgrave. Keep Fortifier on there. Striker is okay. I actually like her as a skirmisher, tell you the truth, because she's not going to be doing much. You'll be lucky if she gets a second shot off. The stat boost goes over to her Dark Phoenix, but the ISO doesn't. And so I like her as a skirmisher. There's the chance that she'll get a vulnerable on the field before she dies and comes back. And then we've got Striker, Healer. Okay, if you're gonna run this team on raids, you actually want Skirmisher and Skirmisher on everybody except for Bishop. I run my Jubes as a striker. I'm happy with it right now, so I'm not going to change it. But everybody's telling me it is going to be Skirmisher eventually. So it's a fantastic defense, top notch, really tough to beat. Causes a lot of problems. Super fast. You've got tanks that are taunting. You can't get to Phoenix. That's the other thing. You're not going to be able to kill Phoenix right away. Maybe, I don't know. Either way, I still like her as a skirmisher. I think Striker's a second choice. So I dig the ISOs. It's good enough. It's a super hard team. I think that I think you can build either two defenses or one offense and one defense with this team. So I'm going to go with the A- on this. There's nothing really wrong with this build. It's just kind of like overdoing it when you could be spreading your defenses a little thinner. But it's good. I don't have any fixes for you other than maybe make an offense and a defense out of this. Team number 7 is a Hero Brawler team with Doc Ock in there. I'm not too excited about this. Doc Ock doesn't really do anything other than he's keeping these two alive. That's kind of it, with a deflects and a healer, trying to keep this team get multiple wins. It could work. You've got a cleanse. You get this taunt that screws people up. You're doing the double taps off of these two. Oh, never mind, not off of this. You got him as a raider. He needs to be a striker on this team. I'd even keep her as a striker. She doesn't do that much healing. And I like the opportunity to get multiple attacks out of this little striker skirmisher combo. Okay, honestly, I'm just not a fan of this team really at all. It could work. You got a great big America Chavez. By the way, hashtag nerf America Chavez was a joke, guys. She's not OP. So yeah, I kind of think I think you overinvested in some crappy characters. Wolverine and Sabretooth and the rest of them could go on the new Weapon X team. So that's around the corner. Even the team without Omega Red does a lot of damage and does great things in war offense. You can combine them with somebody like Ghost to prolong the bleeds and stuff. You can get a lot of mileage out of that 4-piece. So I really just don't like this. I think Doc Ock is better used on other hybrids. I'm going to give you a C for this. It kind of works, but what really pisses me off is you're not using it as a Hero Brawler team. He's not a Hero Brawler. She doesn't have Striker. He doesn't have Striker. You're only getting the Hero Brawler, bonus right there. This team isn't powerful enough if you're not using that combo system. And even with that combo system, this team isn't that great. It's just a big number, really, is all that's happening right here. Honestly, this is like a bit better than an OG Sinister Six because you got a good cleanse here and some opportunities to create combos. But I'm just not super excited with it. For me, I think it's a C, maybe even a C-. Take this entire team apart, or like make a genuine Hero Brawlers. Put Doc Ock on a better hybrid. Okay, here's another hybrid that I'm not super excited about either. You took Emma off of this team. You don't have Sabretooth on this team. You basically left, like, Mystique is the worst member of the Marauder team. You also have you have one striker, one skirmisher. That's okay. That kind of works, I guess. Wait a second, let's see something. Yeah, okay. You have healer. Those are technically correct on this too. and he's a striker. I like him as a fortifier. You already have him in the blue ISO. Forget it. Leave him as it is. But I just don't like this hybrid, man. You don't have any real damage dealers. All you're doing is kind of keeping this team alive. Emma did a better job than these two combined of keeping this team alive with her cleanse and stuff. That's the other thing. I don't think there's a cleanse on this, is there? I'm not sure. I mean, there's a little bit of cleansey stuff going on, but not a lot. Not like Emma. Emma does the full clear cleanse. So it's, again, we're just a big number here. Somebody might think this is going to be a crazy Marauder team or something, like not pay attention to who it is, and they could soak up like a Shadowlands or something, or an X Factor, not realizing that you can kind of go into this with just about any big synergized team and make it happen. If Sinister doesn't clone the correct person, this team's gonna fold. So I think there's a lot of plug and play action that's not being utilized here. I think you should break the team apart and do something completely different. There is some synergy, but mostly what this team needs is one big heavy hitter. Like if your Ultron is built up, maybe get rid of her and go with Ultron. I can't even think of who you should put in here these days. You know, I like Sabretooth for the Weapon X team. I mean, you could, like, if you wanted to, take 3 members of the Weapon X team and put them in here in place of these 3, or 2 members and keep Shuri, or you know, or replace, I don't know, replace Shuri and keep Minerva. It's just so far away from anything good. It's a lot of good stuff, but there's nothing here. It's just not substantial enough. I think for me, actually, I kind of think this is a D. I think we can do a lot better. Yeah. I just don't even know where to go with this. Break it up, build up better teams. Take her out, put Doc Ock in here, and then take out either Minerva or Shuri and put in somebody who does some serious damage. Like, okay, let's take out Shuri and put in Ultron. Let's take out Mystique and put in Doc Ock. And then you might have Doc Ock giving the deflects to Sinister. No, let's leave it that way. Yeah, I like a big Ultron here if you've got a couple of red stars on Ultron, and then I like Doc Ock over here. Let's do that. That'll be a much more formidable team. And then it'll free Shuri up for a different hybrid, and Mystique is just going to have to go to the bench. I'm sorry, she's a sizable investment there, and it's unfortunate that she's just not really being used anymore. Team number 9, this is a crazy powerful defense here. Now, I would like to bring to note one thing. We've got a skirmisher in the green, and we have 3 strikers. 2 of them are level 3 blue strikers, excuse me. So, the Sinning Saint reminded me of something that we can do in a situation like this. Well, not like this technically, but it reminded me of it anyway, so I'll explain it. You go with the level 3 blue skirmisher, and then in this case, Yo-Yo. So Yo-Yo will apply 2 vulnerables on a person, and then you can have 2 strikers, and you're still getting 2 vulnerables for 2 strikers, without having an additional character putting out those vulnerables, because those level 2 and less strikers will be using up 1 vulnerable. So it doesn't work so well on these teams, on this team, because these guys are level 3 strikers. They're going to be sucking up both vulnerables anyway, but we still want her to be a level 3 skirmisher. We still want those vulnerables out there. So let's bring her up to level 3, bring her up to a level 3 blue skirmisher, and that'll help. We don't have anybody else that we want to change. These characters are super meta. They're super powered up, and so we don't want to change their ISOs any. It's just going to be unfortunate that we don't have as many vulnerables as we want going on the field. This is a killer defense. Like, I thought, oh hey, I'll just go in with like a Hela Zemo team, right? So you hit her with ability block, spread it with Hela to everybody else. What happens if ability block lands on Surfer? He gives you ability block, and that RNG could really screw up your next attack. So what if you go in with 1 person ability blocking and just ability block Hela, maybe 2 people, and ability block Doom, and now you're trying to kill Doom in time before he takes a turn? Either way, you're doing it with that offense down from Yo-Yo, and that's really tough to do. So it's totally doable. It just makes it really challenging. So it's almost like we want to ability block Hela, ability block Doom, then kill Yo-Yo, since she's almost you know, she's what, 2/3 of the power of anybody else. And it's just tough to get through to come back and get to Doom. It's a very challenging team. So I like this team. I think you're using a lot of resources. I think we could split this team up and make more defenses. But man, this is a scary number. And I think if you really want to hit it home, take her up one more gear piece and make her level 3 blue ISO skirmisher. And this team's just a freaking nightmare. So I'm going to give you an A for this. Gosh, I almost want to tell you to break it up, but gosh, it is such a scary defense, and it could really get you some DVs. It really could. So if you're going to stick with it, build her up a bit more. If you're not going to stick with this, then break the team apart. Make like a Doom offense someplace else. You could put in maybe Crystal over here. And then you can make Crystal Raider, so she's getting more vulnerables out there on the field. I would still take her up to blue ISO 3, but that's your choice. Anyway, I think you're doing fantastic. You got some choices of things that you could do to this team. It's really scary. Also, here's where your Emma is, and we could take that Emma back over here to this Marauders if you wanted to break up this team. So you got a lot of options here, but man, that is such a scary defense. I would hate to have to deal with that. Okay, team number 10, of course, is Heroes for Hire. It's fine. Skirmisher, Striker, Raiders, Skirmisher, Fortifier. I think you're doing fantastic. You know, get her in the blue, and you're doing great. I'm going to give you an A for that team. It's not really worth building this team up anymore. Not with Omega Red on the scene. I think it's super scary. It's already challenging for Infinity Watch to do. You could easily take this team down with a 600 Weapon X. But yeah, I think it's great. I think you get an A for this team. I just wouldn't even bother touching it. Unless you're going to take Misty Knight into other game modes, don't bother building them up anymore. I'm sorry, not Misty Knight. Colleen Wing. Build her, you could change her ISO, not change her ISOs, build her ISOs up more. I don't think I'm not excited about these guys in other game modes. They're totally viable. They're good choices. I'm not going to knock anybody for doing that. I just don't want to. I didn't want to invest in this team. They're really low. It's not worth it for me to take these guys up when I've got other older stuff that'll get the job done. Okay, this has been Dubs 420's Defense Up episode. If you like what you saw, links to the description. Contact me, like, subscribe, the usual jazz. You can put your defense up here on the screen if you'd like to be featured. So you just contact me at my defense or at my Discord. I'm so tired. Not enough coffee. I ain't got into my kids' candy last night. Didn't sleep as good as I should. Okay, thanks for joining us. Remember, don't just have a good game, be good to yourselves and others too. Bye.